Hi, it's Alaska Granny. We're encouraged to store foods for long term, and one of the top foods mentioned is usually beans. We read store 30 pounds of beans per person. How do you come to the conclusion that 30 pounds is the proper amount? If you look at how many servings are in 30 pounds of beans, you break it down into 12 servings per 1 pound. So if you look at 1 pound is 12, 30 pounds is 360. So you have a serving of beans every day, which would be a year's amount. You may not eat them every day, but at least you're going to have enough that if that is all you had, you can make it last. One of the great ways to store beans is already in a can. They've already been soaked, they're already cooked, they're prepared and ready to use. Each can of beans equals about 3.5 servings. So they're ready to go. You can also buy beans in a number 10 can. These have 50 servings of beans, but what you need to realize is you need lots and lots of water to prepare dried beans. You need to soak 1 pound of beans in 8 cups of water. Then you drain it and add 6 more cups of water. So for each pound of beans, you need to make sure that you have set aside 14 cups of water just to prepare them. You can buy beans in bulk, but then you need to remember to store them properly. If you don't keep them cool and dry, they're not going to last. Over a long period of time, beans can lose their ability to soften in water no matter how long you soak them or cook them. So one of the things to know is that if your beans have been kept a long time, you can grind them up and use them as a bean flour. Your beans will still be useful. Store them correctly, and that can help avoid that problem. Beans and rice together are a great source of protein. Many countries throughout the world, beans and rice are a staple in everyday diets because they're simple to prepare, they're easy to store, and they can be inexpensive. Stored properly, beans can last up to 30 years, and so you know you have a significant amount of food for very little money that can continue to feed your family. So whether you buy beans in bulk, you buy them in cans, in a number 10 can, or even a 5-gallon bucket that holds 30 pounds, know that it's important that you stock up on food while it's readily available so you'll always have what you need to keep your family well cared for. Learn more at alaskagranny.com. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.